Pawan sir is an actor who is absolutely brilliant when you work with him, but his core condition is that he needs to be comfortable. The minute he was wearing an achkan, he was very happy, but the minute the jacket came on the achkan, he was like, do I have to really wear this? During the filming of this film, I also worked with him on another film called Bro. My first film in Tollywood was a film that has just been released again, which is called Jagitika Virulu Atiloka Sundari. If you even see Pawan sir's films, the dance, the drama, the action was very larger than life, very magnanimous. Bollywood at that point in time didn't have that much color till the time Govinda ji started wearing all these colorful clothes. When I worked on his film Coolie No. 1, remember getting a call from South India, a production house called and said, "Can I speak to Neeta Lulla Taylor? Can you make us clothes like what Govinda ji is wearing?" So I met Aishwarya even before she did Iruvar. I met her when Yash was actually screen testing her for a film.
You also designed the saree for Aishwarya Rai's character in Devdas. And it's really iconic, particularly the pallu that was set on fire in the final scene.
I had only overnight to create that look. The whole film had sarees which were 12 to 14 meters long, which Sridevi, she was very particular about the kind of color she wore. So that used to be challenging.
Neeta Lulla, welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you so much for having me. And namaskar, everyone.
First, many congratulations. Your latest film, Harihara Veera Mallu, receiving a lot of praise for the looks of its key characters. These are played by Pawan Kalyan and Bobby Deol. Although it's a period film set in the Mughal era, but what kind of research went into designing such authentic looking costumes?
So, Hara Veera Mallu is very rightly, as you said, set in the Mughal era. And for me, it was quite a easy task and yet a challenging task, because I have worked on that era in my previous films. And then to set it apart from, the entire landscape of what I've done was challenging. Another thing is that Pawan sir is an actor who is absolutely brilliant when you work with him, but his core condition is that he needs to be comfortable to exude the character narrative, and at the same time, the style statement has to come from a sphere of where his own personal style also transcends, because that helps him as an actor. And to be able to do that, though was a challenge, but was a very amazing and a very fulfilling task, because once you create the look, once he is, for him, it's the fabric that's very important. The fabric has to breathe, the fabric has to make him feel comfortable and look good at the same time. And I think, like every actor who believes that, the overall look of the character creates and transcends into their own personality when they are wearing it. The same goes with Pawan sir, and I think it was a wonderful journey for me working with him. And also during the filming of this film, I also worked with him on another film called Bro, and I had a blast working with him. Speaking about um, Bobby Deol came on to the scene around the second schedule when I also joined in, and because he was playing a Mughal king, we had to give him all the paraphernalia, all the ensembles that transcended that character. But here's the challenge. Bobby is someone who likes to wear very, very comfortable clothes. So the minute he was wearing an achkan, he was very happy. But the minute the jacket came on the achkan, he was like, "Do I have to really wear this?"
I was about to ask you about the input, but before that, like you said, you enjoyed working with Pawan Kalyan. What did you enjoy most about creating the look for Pawan Kalyan? And was there any present to present him in a way that matched his superstar aura, especially now that he's also serving Deputy Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh.
With Pawan sir, the magic is that you don't need to clothe him in to create a superstar aura. The minute he wears his outfit and the minute he gets into the character, I think that superstar aura just transcends automatically. And that's the magic that I have seen, working with him.
Then how easy or comfortable was it for you to design costumes for Bollywood for Bobby Deol? Because in this case, were the input that came from Bobby as well for the look?
No, Bobby was like, the first thing he told me is that Neeta, I've never worn clothes like this. And I'm very uncomfortable in all these heavy garments, and also what do I do? So the first look test that we did with Bobby in a white achkan and churidar, where slowly but surely, I kind of showed him, I said, see, you need to wear this and there'll be a lot of fights and there'll be a lot of movement. I want the garment to flow with you to create that larger than life aspect. So we did a look test where first I made him wear that, and we made him twirl, and he felt very good. He felt very comfortable, and he felt absolutely amazing when he saw the photographs. So here's how we gradually went on to it. And then I said, I think you should try the turban as well and see, when you're moving around. So he tried the turban and he did the same movements and, the fight kind of sequence with the sword. And he was very comfortable. And then came the jacket. And he was like, do I really have to wear this? But and I guess that is one of the challenges an actor faces when you're doing a period film. There is a lot of layering that goes on onto your garment, and um, you need to get comfortable in it at one point. As long as the foundation of your garments are comfortable, the rest of it is easy.
Although you've been working in the industry for many years, four-time national award-winning designer, how different was your experience of working with actors from Tollywood compared to others, especially from say from Bollywood?
So Vishal, I'm born in Mumbai but brought up in Hyderabad, and Tollywood is not alien to me. I have grown up watching NTR sir's movies, and my first film in Tollywood was a film that has just been released again, which is called Jagatika Virudu Ati Loka Sundari. I speak Telugu as well, so that's why it's so easy for me to say these, uh, long names. That film featured Sridevi and Chiranjeevi sir, where there was a lot of dramatic garments, and that was my second or third film when I joined costume design. And the film Up to Date carries a lot of inspiration to a lot of budding actors and directors. There are times when I've gone for a meeting and they say, ma'am, you should watch a movie called Jagatika Virudu Ati Loka Sundari and see the clothes in that film. So it's quite a delight to hear that, And from then on, apart from Telugu, I've done a lot of Tamil films. I've done a lot of Malayalam films. So South Indian filmmaking is not alien for me. So in my journey, it's been an amalgamation of a whole load of these and a couple of even Hollywood films.
So then, how different is the style or sensibility, say, fashion style of say of NTR to Allu Arjun to Prabhas or to Chiranjeevi? Do you see some similarities in the way they like to carry themselves?
So, Vishal, fashion is a very progressive journey, and so is filmmaking, And I feel that a lot of brilliant technicians today we have both in Bollywood and in the South Indian film industry. And now today we call it Indian film industry, and we also have a lot of directors who are using a lot of computer graphics and AI related aspects, which have come in on the forefront today. Speaking about earlier, films they had a brilliant storyline. Earlier, there was a lot more color and the aspect of larger than life on the South Indian industry, um, which transcended even into Bollywood at that point in time. Um, Today,
Like,
so we used to see a lot of color on actors. We used to see a lot of dance movements, and they are very agile and they were very out there. If you see even the movie Jagadika Veerudu, or if you even see Pawan Sir's films, the dance, the drama, the action was very larger than life, very magnanimous. Today, it has transcended into Indian cinema as well because it's all becoming like a common platform. Bollywood at that point in time didn't have that much color till the time Govinda ji started wearing all these colorful clothes. When I worked on his film Coolie No. 1, you know, there was this sudden burst of an actor wearing bright colors, and I
floral
remember getting
shirts.
a call. Remember getting a call from South India, a production house called and said, "Can I speak to Neeta Lulla Taylor? Can you make us clothes like what Govinda ji is wearing for our actor?" So yeah, that is where it was, a jump from here, a jump from there, and inspirations transcend from one genre to another, anyways. So it's a give and take of inspirations both ways.
Now, we have seen many times, a character wearing a red color shirt, especially when they're shooting a big sequence. So, do you know when you give, say, a color like yellow or a red to a character? Do you know how it will be picturized?
Absolutely. We have to be very alert as to where it's going to be picturized. How is it going to be picturized? How is it going to be shot? Is it a day or a night sequence? Is there a background format, like maybe a lot of actors in the background, or is it the background being very colorful, or an outdoor, whether it's being shot in India or outside of India? So all these things create a lot of nuances for you to be able to, or support your creativity, to be able to give a color. Now the easy part today is that actors, male, female, are open to bright colors. Earlier possibly they were male actors were not open to such bright colors, and one had to be very careful. It was either a pastel neutral, or a blue and black and gray and browns and white shirts and white. So today you have the freedom of colors and using colors. So you can give a pink to a female actor and you can give a turquoise to a male actor. It doesn't matter because they carry it off. And today is it's a statement. It's a style statement that men and women carry off with ease. So I guess
Would you say actor like Ranveer Singh is a delight for a fashion designer?
I absolutely love his carriage of clothes. I love the way he carries off colors. It's a style that he creates, and it's a trend that he creates only because he's comfortable in what he wears. And I think he is absolutely wonderful in the way I hats off to the way he carries off his clothes.
So, ma'am, you have designed for Aishwarya Rai. Apart from film, you also designed the wardrobe for Aishwarya and Abhishek's wedding. How would you describe your creative equation with her, and how has it evolved over the years?
So I met Aishwarya even before she did Iruvar. I met her when Yashji was actually screen testing her for a film, after which she went for Miss World. And I found her to be, of
Which
course,
film was that?
sorry,
Which film Reggie was screen testing Aishwarya for?
I think it was Dar.
Okay.
So, for a fashion designer, someone who's coming from the modeling background, to dress them up is a no-brainer. but you kind of evolve with the actor over time. So I did her first film in Tamil, which was called Jeans. And in that time, she was even doing Iruvar with Mani Ratnam sir. And from then on, much as you say that, oh, dressing Aishwarya is so easy, but there is a particular carriage an actor has. There is a particular way the actor walks, the way they, the kind of clothes they feel comfortable in, and the kind of clothes they can exude or the character or um, take in the narrative better. And I somehow felt that Aishwarya was very comfortable wearing saris, wearing lehengas, and in her case, it was not about less is more, it was more is less. There are certain actors who, no matter how much you put on them, they still look elegant and perfect. And, it doesn't scream the outfit. The outfit becomes part of them. And that is a quality that I find in Aishwarya. And I played with that. I worked with that for almost, what, 16 years, 16 odd years.
Before moving on, I want to congratulate you once again on the recognition for your stunning costume for Jodhaa Akbar, which was showcased earlier this year at the Academy Museum in LA. How challenging was it for you to work on the epic like Jodhaa Akbar with Ashutosh Gowariker?
Jodhaa Akbar was quite challenging, but I can write a book on it. It was very satisfying because, from the word go from the research. So here's how it happens that Ashutosh gave me this bound script. I read it twice, thrice. And then, it's but natural that when you do that, you go with research. So he said, read the script and come back to me. I said, okay. So I said, okay, I'll meet him. I'll understand what he wants, and then I'll do my research. When I went there, he had this many books. He said, this is all my research over time, and just use it and see what you want to pick up from this. I was like, okay, so have you left anything for me to research on? And he says, it's all here, and then whatever else you need, from libraries and all. We did a little bit of our own research as well. But working on that film, the first thing he said was, Neeta, I want you to use only 5 colors for the Rajput kingdom and 5 colors for the Mughal kingdom. There will be no 6th color.
Which colors were there? Those?
So there was a red, orange, yellow, green, a particular green, and ivory for Rajputana. And for Mughals, there was a green, there was a brown, there was a rust, there was 2 more colors. I can't remember the names right now, but there was ivory, and there was another color. I think it was.
Little bit of black?
No, there was a gray, dark gray.
Dark gray.
So these were the colors for the Mughal kingdom. And I was like, all those actors, there were 2,600 costumes in the film. I said, you want me to dress in just 5 colors? He said, that's the catch. But that was not the only catch. The other catch was that we were shooting in natural light. Now, if I use silk fabrics, it will throw back the color, reflect the shine, and that will make the garments look cheap. So I had to actually create those kind of fabrics, the richness of the brocades and the richness of the embroidery on mull, on organic mulmal. And for it to be able to look grand, for it to be able to create that larger than life period, and at the same time, for it not to reflect for the DOP Kiran Devans. So that was another challenge that came about.
when you work on these multi-starrers, these big films, there's a scene in Luck by Chance where Rolly, the character played by Rishi Kapoor, who's a film producer, tells Manish Malhotra that इतना का तो कपड़ा बनाते हो कितना पैसा लोगे कितना पैसा लोगे. How true is that? Do you give does fashion designers get big budgets for films, or do you also have to work sometime in the limited budget?
So let's break that myth. इतना पैसा लोगे नहीं होता, इतना पैसा लोगे होता. So you work in budgets. Sometimes you work in stringent budgets. But here's the thing. I mean, everybody is not alike. Somebody will give you a good enough budget. Somebody may not give you budget. But what's important is that you need to be technically strong to be able to create what you want to project on the screen in the budget that you have. Again, speaking of Jodhaa Akbar, we were shooting a particular scene in Sambar. And this is nothing to do with budget. This is to do with technique. We were shooting right in the center of Sambar. Now, Sambar is like a desert. It's a huge, big ground. And we required an armor for one of the actors to play the commander-in-chief. And there was no armor because there were 500 soldiers, and we had given all the clothes to all of them. So where to get an armor which was a little more larger than life? So Ashu was like, now what do we do? And if we don't shoot within half an hour, 40 minutes, the sun goes down and we lose that day. So he said, we have half an hour. What can we do? So there was a tin peti lying there with additional things, like I generally have, scissors, this, that, the dressmen carry, a couple of paint jars. So I sat with my dressman, we cut up the peti, we made an armor out of the peti, the aluminum peti, and we painted it. And that became part of the armor right then and there. So that's predominantly technique. I mean, today an armor could cost you in lakhs, it can cost you in thousands, depending. But this armor just came out of nowhere. So it's all about how, as a costume technician, you can create what you want in the limited time or the limited budget.
From the available resources. From the available resources.
How resourceful are you, basically?
So then the obvious question, what happened to these gorgeous dresses when the film shooting is over? Do actors take them?
Oh, you must one day have a chance to shoot Ashutosh's Godown, where it is kept so beautifully. As a matter of fact, there are certain production houses I've worked with who have actually hired big spaces where they keep the clothes really beautifully, and they really take care of them. And that is how we could manage to give one of the garments to the museum for this year as a installation.
So then, talking about your iconic dresses, you also designed a saree for Aishwarya Rai's character in Devdas. And it's really iconic, particularly the pallu that was set on fire in the final scene. Could you please talk to us about the creative process behind it and how particular Sanjay Leela Bhansali was about Aishwarya Rai's character's look in that film?
So the process was not a process. I had only overnight to create that look. We had the whole film had sarees which were 12 to 14 meters long, and I had cut up 2 sarees, 3 sarees to create the entire one ensemble. And it worked beautifully well, except for one scene, which was the final scene, where Sanjay felt he needed a cotton puja sari. So we had the cotton puja sari, everything was ready. And here we are, one day before the shoot at Filmistan in Aishwarya's van, having a look at the outfit at about 7 o'clock after pack up. And he says, all the saris are looking so grand. This one is going to not create the impact Also because I have devised a particular scene where I want the sari pallu to burn, and this is not long enough. So, how do we feature that out? So I said, okay, can I leave? So he was like, yeah, but what are you going to do? I said, I don't know, but can I leave? And in the meanwhile, there were calls going, there were phone calls because there was no um, um, mobiles, to a lot of actors who would have saris. And everyone said, we have only one sari. We can't, it's a 5.5 yard sari. We don't have more. So I went out and I called up one of my fabric vendors and I got him to open the shop at 11 o'clock in the night. Brought out fabrics for it. And in the meanwhile, I had made a phone call from outside to my team of embroiderers and got them to start making borders and everything. So by the time I reached, the borders were started and I had picked up the fabrics. And by 8:30 morning, we had 2 saris of 13 meters ready on set.
For that
And,
final scene.
and the scene was shot. So that is how sometimes it's not only about budgets which are strained, it is also timelines that are strained. So yeah, you work, but provided you can organize and provided you can have the right techniques, I think that's the beauty of filmmaking. And I kind of, as a technician, thrive on that. 2 घंटे में ड्रेस चाहिए, 3 घंटे में ड्रेस चाहिए. So it also transcends into, I do a lot of bridal wear. It transcends into that also because people say, oh, you'll take 3 months to do it. But there are times that there is a bride who comes which she's got an SOS situation and she wants a dress done. We do it in 48 hours. So, but this is what your techniques, your experiences
Experience.
kind of teach you.
You also won a national award for Lamhe. Sridevi had double role in that, and she played two distinct characters, Pallavi and Pooja, each with their own unique style. How did you approach differentiating their wardrobes to highlight their contrasting personalities?
So again, I got into the film, I think on the third schedule or something, where Leena Daru ma'am had already started the work on Sridevi, on her Pallavi's clothes, and I got to do her song Megha Re Megha for Pallavi and all of Pooja's clothes. And a couple of more outfits. Yeah, Pallavi's saris and all post marriage. So the differentiation was already there, and it was not so difficult to kind of differentiate a person who is born and brought up in Rajasthan and has very conservative ideas, mindsets, and but still is at that point of liberation. So the kind of clothes you gave her, the kind of saris you gave her, instead of cottons, you gave her chiffon saris, which were printed or painted, screen printed with bandhani. So we didn't use oleria, we didn't use the original lehrias and stuff. We kind of made it a little more contemporary. But as far as Pooja was concerned, she studied in London and born in Rajasthan, but um, full life she was there. So there was a little bit of nuances of her roots being Rajput on her clothes, where if you see in certain places, we've given her skirts with bandhani on them, and crop tops, and a whole lot of it which was kind of Western. So it was not very difficult. But here's the thing with Sridevi, she was very particular about the kind of color she wore, the kind of whites that she wore. So that used to be challenging. And I think she is one person that I have learned a lot from.
Like in what sense about the styling?
About styling, about colors, about how which colors will go on an outdoor, which will go on an indoor, what is the kind of fabric that I should be using, so she was very evolved in her mindset on every aspect of the character narrative, be it fabric, be it colors, be it makeup, be it, everything. She was on point.
And finally, how, according to you, has costume designing for film evolved since the time you started in the industry?
Oh, amazingly evolved. Today, at the drop of a hat, if there's a requirement, you can go to a store and pick it up. You can pick up an outfit, you can get it altered to the actor's size, except for period films where you can't do that. But there are some, even today, do that with period films where things are picked up from designers who work on that kind of garments. But I don't, it's, you see, both times, I've started my work in the 80s. Coming from there to today, everything has its challenges. Certain things become easy, certain things, because of the ease, become difficult. There is today you can get everything at the drop of a hat, but then you have that much of competition, you have stylists who are on board. Everything has gotten demarcated. And when we were styling for films in the 80s and 90s, you were the designer, you were the stylist, you suggested hair and makeup, you made the shoes, you made the accessories, everything, because it was not available that easily. And then you also combated the divide between mainstream fashion and film fashion, which was quite evident and prevalent. So today it's not like that. Today a bride comes to you and says that your film, that outfit, same color, same jewelry, I want everything. So there is ease and there is challenges in each and everything. I guess that is the process, that's the evolving process of any kind of work you do.
Well, with that, I want to say thank you for talking to me and sharing so many stories. Looking forward to what you do next. Thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you so much and namaskar, Vishal. It was lovely speaking with you, and yeah, looking forward to the release of Harihara Veera Mallu.
All the best. I hope your soon more costumes go to Academy Museum and many places more.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.